So it's the Grape Explorer talking about today. So spring has sprung, and we want to show you some wines that we feel are perfect for the spring. But guess what? We're going to also go into wine. We've had some people making some requests to talk about certain things, especially our millennial friends out there. They were asking me, Grape Explorer, David, can you talk about Pet Nat? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Petillant Naturel. That is the French pronunciation, but we kind of shorten it here in America to Pet Nat. Very trendy, very interesting wines. But we're going to talk about exactly where this region is located in France. It's called Clairette de Die, right here. So we have the northern Rhône, you have the southern Rhône, and wedged right in between is the sparkling wine region of Clairette de Die. A lot of people might not have heard of this, so that's why I'm going to talk about it today. Because Clairette de Die is considered one of the oldest sparkling wines in all of France. Yes, older than Champagne. How can I say that? How can I say that this area is older than Champagne? Well, it was developed by the Romans, because remember now, the Romans were the ones that planted all the grapes over here in Hermitage. If you remember correctly, I talked about Hermitage and the hill of Hermitage here, where the Romans planted it, because of course you have right here the river, you got the River Vienne, which is flowing all the way up here in Lyon, and it goes all the way down in the south of France. But right through this area here, Clairette de Die is quite famous, and we're going to talk about not only Clairette de Die, we're going to talk about Pet Nat, because again, people want to know. They want to know, what is Pet Nat all about? So this is because I said spring, and we got beautiful months coming. We're just about to get a little warmer. We're not quite warm enough yet, but we're still getting warm. And we wanted to break out what I call a rosé Pet Nat. And Pet Nat is very traditional. And I'm going to talk about this. As you zoom in on this label, we want to highlight this producer, because this is called the Poulette family. And Clairette de Die is an appellation for a sweet sparkling wine. It dates back to the Romans. It's located in the northern Rhône Valley along the Rhône River, just east of Valence, as we notice on the map. Ancient winemaking techniques were developed here and are still used today. There were two grapes, two styles used here. Traditional grapes are Clairette, and we also use Muscat, and we also use some Gamay. And whatever the method is used, I'm going to explain. Fermentation is stopped when the wine has high sugar levels, usually between 9%. But we want to talk about the method Ancestral, which is basically how this method is done. And I want you to zoom right in on the map again one more time so you can actually see where this is located. But I wanted to talk about how they actually, the Gamay undergoes 1 week of cold maceration, during which suppressing occurs. A slow fermentation of all juices is actively by indigenous yeast kept under temperature control. Then a second fermentation in the bottle is enhanced by the grape's residual sugar, and with no adding of tirage liquor, and after 4 months it's bottled, the settlement is taken out. This is what we call method Ancestral, and that's why we call it Pet Nat, Pet Naturel, because the automatic effervescence or the bubbles is that second fermentation that happens in the bottle. But boy, this wine just beautiful. It's like the summer. We were talking melons and cantaloupe, all sorts of beautiful citrus tones, strawberries I get right off the bat. This is great as an aperitif. So on a hot day, when you're out there planting the flowers and you're just about getting your flowers set for spring, you want to come in and you need something to drink. You don't want anything too heavy. You want something light. This is what you drink, and it's just refreshing as you're sitting there looking at all of your hard work that you put in your garden. Yes, we'll be gardening pretty soon, so that's why I'm saying I know it's a lot of work, but you want something very refreshing, something that's really cool to drink, that you chill this down. And this is just absolutely leaps out of the glass too, all the fruits and everything. That is absolutely lovely. It just reminds me of like warmer temperatures coming, especially on a cold day. But beautiful color, as you can see. So this is called Pet Nat. In America, it's starting to take a little bit of a firestorm here. All the young people are interested in this. And I can see why. This is just absolutely delicious. You don't need to say too much. You just pop it, drink it. It's beautiful. And I think that this is something that I wanted to highlight today, especially give a shout out to our friends who like orange wines and really want to learn about different natural wines. This is natural as you are going to get. Again, this is a beautiful wine, Clairette de Die, and it's a Pet Nat, you can see on the French terminology there. And it's a beautiful expression of how they make sparkling wine. And it doesn't cost a lot of money, gang. This is like $15 a bottle. Again, this is the Grape Explorer, always trying to highlight great value and beautiful wines made in France.